I'm excited, very happy, and first of all, I want to thank Raju, Chappidi and family. He's the main reason why I'm here. Actually, basically, I came to see his daughter, Anya, and then all these things are happening. It's been a pleasant journey for me for the last 25 years. Though many people do describe that it has been arduous and very difficult, but I've been enjoying each and every moment of my journey for the last 25 years. When I started doing what I did, I never thought people would recognize and realize or understand in my lifetime. I thought people would slowly understand what I was speaking 20 years, maybe after I died. But sadly, people were suffering so much that even my expectations went wrong. Many people credit me that you are doing a wonderful job and bringing the awareness. I want to remind all people, it's not me. It is the suffering of the human race that is getting the attention. If the suffering was not so much, then people won't have recognized me. The suffering is so intense and large in numbers that whatever little thread is thrown at, people are catching. So I just want to deflate myself that people keep telling, oh, you've done such, it's incredible, you're changing the consciousness of people and things like that about. So that's not the reason. The reason is, even today, people are not yet ready to change the food that we are talking about. If they're okay, why me less? It's only the sick people who has MND, SLE, sclerosis, IBS, HIV, cancer. Of course, I am putting one word cancer, but there are 18 to 20 different kinds of cancers according to the Western world. But actually, once you listen through my lecture, there's only one disease. These are all names that this establishment is trying to confuse people. Nothing else actually. So cancer, HIV, MND, autism, all these are all names that the disease is taking or transforming itself. So fundamentally, we are doing something wrong. Otherwise, there should not have been this kind of diseases. Man is designed to be healthy, but we are choosing to be sick by our own making. The world, the planet, even today, can, and I hope will, in future, make everyone lead a peaceful and happy life. And there is a saying, when everything rottens, then the new life comes. I am sad that we are already rotten. That's why I think new life is beginning to happen. and we are not recognizing that. And the whole and sole reason is the way we are conducting ourselves on this planet. We have been degenerating our senses, degenerating our souls, degenerating our existence. We need to go beyond all these issues. And the only means the body and soul are connected is this body. Physically, the body and soul are connected through food. So, if you do not know what your food is, then you do not know who you are. And that's what we all have become. And health is actually a word that should not have been put separately. It's part of this existence. We all should be healthy, period. But then the world has made itself into so many different parts. We are not living holistically. We have irrigation, we have engineering, we have this, we have that, we have this. And we have industries for medicine, industry for food, industry for processing industry, all this. And then everything has become centralized. And we are getting confused. We don't know what we are doing. And everyone is in a state of fix. And too many experts are popping up. Everything is specialized. Too many details, too much data, and we don't have wherewithal to process so much data and getting confused. And we are making ourselves miserable, simply put. And doing so, we have lost the basis of existence, that is health. The whole world is suffering. I believe, I don't want to dump all the statistics on your heads, but let me just put succinctly that there is no one who is healthy on this planet, including the tribals that are actually not connected to this so-called civilized world. Back in India, the Western Ghats, tribals have diabetes, have cancer, have HIV, have some so-called rare diseases like muscular dystrophy, SLE, MND. It's incredible that even people who are not to have any diseases are getting contacted with all these kinds of wonderful. I use the word wonderful because we started appreciating these diseases. I have diabetes. My family doctor says, you go on describing it. It's as if it is a wonderful thing. Oh, I have sarcoma. My no, you go on just describing it. Because we have now come to that state where we resigned and then we are trying to say our bad things to be our. My son, has autism. My son is specially gifted. It's a sad thing that there are 23 kids are being born as autistic kids. That means the functionality of the babies are thrown out of the window. And there was no autistic kid. Say, just go back 100 years, it might have been the ratio, I mean, the statistics is 1 in crore or 1 in. And there were not this many crores of people. But now we have too many crores of people and too many percentages, 23 people out of 100, we are bringing the life as autistic, I mean, differently abled. Names, this is what I mean. We are trying to celebrate the sad state of affairs. I have this diabetes, I have that diabetes, I have type 1, type 2, this is this, that is this. I mean, it's gone crazy. I have cancer, although cancer now is metastasis, it has gone from here to there to here. So there is enough hangama created by this sad state of affairs. I actually just came to this. One lady came and said, I have MND. Okay. No, you don't know. It is ALS. It is a very special kind of problem. And then another kid, I have IBD. Oh. Irritable bowel syndrome. So your bowels are irritated every moment. Syndrome. What is the syndrome? You don't know when it happens, so you go to stores whenever it wants. Just go on coming, go on. So people don't understand something, you call it syndrome. And then the kid is explaining this. I mean, it's so much that you're trying to cover the suffering, making big, complicated statements. And all these descriptions, all this knowledge, all this, the suffering, if the knowledge is true, should be in a matter of 5 years or 10 years. There should have been less number of IBD patients. There should have been less number of autistic kids. There should have been less number of diabetic patients. There should have been less number of cancer patients. And we have been talking about this for the last 15, 20 years. But then diabetes, cancer has been, we have been talking about the last 50 years. So, not even a single disease, the numbers are coming down. So what we are generating all this data basically is false. If it was to be true, then these numbers should have come. But then what is the reality? Each and every place, including so-called underdeveloped, developing, undeveloped, every place, every town, you come back after 6 months, there is a multi-speciality hospital. One more. And if you go to places like Hyderabad, Bangalore, it's not 6 months. Each 6 days, one hospital is coming up. So when the rainy season, you see mushrooms, all at a sudden you see top popping up. So if the number of hospitals are increasing day by day, what does it indicate? The more number of people becoming sick. And if the knowledge that we are generating in the last 20, 30, 40 or 50, whatever years, things should have been going the other way around. And it doesn't seem to happen because WHO now has taken upon itself. It used to declare once in 10 years these numbers. Now they have reduced to once in 5 years. They come up with these numbers. 28% are diabetic. 32% are thyroid patients. 60% are taking BP tablets. 70% are taking constipated. The world is constipated. So if you shit in the morning, you need to take a tablet. Another 15% people are not able to sleep, they are taking tablets on a daily basis. And some people are oversleeping, they are taking some tablets. Thyroid. I feel sleepy anytime, anywhere, just sleep. So take a tablet. So people who are oversleeping, they are taking tablets. People not getting sleep, they are taking tablets. People, nowadays there is another big problem. Just to talk to each other, they are taking tablets. It's, in fact, I came from Dubai to Houston, 15 hours of flight. There are, I think, we are locked up in that small space of 400 people were there, 300 and 400. I tried to talk to one person. One person. I could initiate conversation with one fellow. The moment it started, everyone was absolutely. And 15 hours. Then okay, for some time, I'll wait for some time. Absolutely no possibility. No one wants to talk to any other person. When I traveled earlier days, when I first was that people who used to serve food, they used to say, hi, how are you? And nowadays no one is saying even how are you? They are actually having tablet and then they are busy. They are not asking what do you want. It is there. They say, no, I don't want this. It's not here. I'm right standing, sitting in front of the girl and they don't care. It's not there. You don't matter. I mean, where are we going? Where are we going? So this is the picture. I mean, all are confused. And it's just like you're on a 12-lane turnpike and jam-packed traffic jam. We don't know what to do. So what to do? Just get down the car and walk. Because we have forgotten we can walk. So we are all in the jammed conditions and we don't know what to do. We are confused. So we need to get down the car and walk. So this is the final summary. And this is not the story, it's not ended yet. We want to go to Mars. We want to abandon this planet. I don't know what we want to do there. We don't know what we are doing there. So I keep telling, let's first learn how to shit. Because it used to be a process, it's called nature call. So around 5:30 or so, there used to be a ring a bell and you just go to the toilet, 2 minutes, come out. But people are not coming out. They sit there half an hour, 45 minutes, because the thing is not coming out. You have to have a peg, you have to have a coffee, you have to have a cigarette, it's all. You're doing circus. Okay, that's the scene in Western countries. And I thought, okay, in India it's much better because we know Ayurveda. Oh, you don't know. Your body, you're constipated. Don't worry, take this push. Give warm water, drink warm water, walk around here. After all that, it is not coming out. The reason is simple, that you have not taken enough fiber along with your food. So the rectum, the anus to the large intestine, it is not covered with seizures. I have so many names. So many people are getting seizures while trying to shit because it's not coming out and you are pressing and the nerves are getting. People are falling in the toilets. Almost there are 18 accidents in the toilets. It's not because they are they are trying to push things out and it is not happening. These things look silly when I talk like this, but this is the reality. And when you go to doctor, he's giving you a tablet. How many tablets? Every day you have to shit. So you go on taking tablets. Every day. And everyone is okay with it. Okay, I take a tablet, I'll get some shit out, and when it's not complete, so again. And this is, I'm not talking about cancer, I'm not talking about HIV, I'm not talking about SLE, these are all very common. A simple thing like shitting, we are not able to do. And then we are talking all spirituality, this, that, The yoga master is doing yoga and then the morning is not able to shit, so he goes pumping this and that. He calls himself naturopath. What is natural? You put mud. Mud is natural, so you go and lie down in the mud bath, then it will come out. What kind of nonsense are we doing? If it is natural, you should just go, unload a minute, come on. That is natural. So something is missing here. So these fellows, so-called naturopaths are also missing something, so-called very highly advanced Baltimore, capital of sickness industry. All these things are happening, but no one is shitting properly. That's the end of the story. You want to shit properly, you need to design something, food, that makes these things happen. So you have to say simply, you have to eat fibrous food. Oh, you eat your vegetables. How much vegetables do you want to eat? The vegetables have got 99% of it is water in the greens. And then even the so-called hard carrot is 96% water. So you want to provide enough fiber with vegetables, you need to eat approximately 8 kilos. So eat raw vegetables, eat this. So that means there's something wrong here. And how can you eat 8 kilos of vegetables? You cannot do that. So that means you have to design food first. Think carefully. So enough fiber should be provided, which are approximately 30-40 grams of fiber is required for all these processes to happen. Well, no one knows about fiber, but everyone, I'm a nutritionist, you need protein, you need lipid, you need vitamin B12. Oh, vitamin B12 is in meat, so everyone should eat meat. But everyone is eating meat, but everyone has B12 deficiency. Now, Telangana is 98% meat eaters. So, everywhere you have statistics. Heavy duty, Andhra fellows, heavy meat eaters. There's a big article written on Sunday. But then vitamin B12 deficiency is found only there. All meat eaters and say vitamin B12 is only in meat, they keep claiming until this nutrient. Okay. Then I said all are eating meat and why is there vitamin B12 deficiency? Because pharmaceutical industry made vitamin B12 tablets and if possible injections also to increase the price. Then they want to sell and then all of a sudden you start having people have vitamin B12. Oh, even if you are eating meat, you are not able to absorb. That means there is something wrong. So we will give you. Vitamin B12 is there in the meat they are eating, he is not able to absorb. You give a tablet, will it absorb? Then, oh, calcium is, oh, you have to drink milk. Because milk has a lot of calcium. So people have been drinking liters and liters of milk. As if milk is not enough, they are now eating paneer. Concentrated soya milk. 10 liters of milk will give you 100 grams of or 200 grams of paneer. So why drink 10 liters and eat this much? So you should have got a lot of calcium. So you don't have calcium, so you take calcium supplement. So calcium supplement, this supplement, that supplement, businesses are booming, $1 billion. So if what these guys are saying is right, then why is this supplement business? If milk has calcium, and people have stopped drinking milk, now they are taking paneer constantly, why still there? That means there is something wrong here. And no one is bothered. They are taking milk, they are taking paneer, they are taking calcium supplements, and still we have osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, some complicated combinations of these words. Rheumatic arthritis, arthritis rheumatis, psoriatic arthritis, and then some heart arthritis, I mean, all combinations. The list goes on. In fact, in constipation itself, I believe there are 18 kinds of names. The simple thing, you are not shitting. So, the complicating these names is confused because they have to be experts. And this is all that has happened in the last 40, 50 years. I can say the same thing with cancer, same thing. It just, list goes on and autoimmune diseases. Oh, my daughter, just the air flows in, she has, people have to tie her up and then do touch all the clothes and this. Why are these things happening? And then what do? You go on peripheral treatments, all what you can mitigate the symptoms, but the problem exists. And that too you cannot. So one problem shifts to the another. I have BP, you give a BP tablet, and then the blood thinner, this, that, then the problem shifts to kidney. I do with something kidney, and the problem shifts to lungs. So I have to go through dialysis because I have creatinine, I have urea in my blood. So because blood is become thick, I cannot breathe. So go on. So they have gone increasing this paraphernalia. Why the hell this number of dialysis patients increases? So something is wrong here. And I can go on rambling like this from each and every part of the body. There is some disease and different names, and again paraphernalia increases. So don't you think we are all in the wrong direction? And then you build hospitals, bigger hospitals, big technology, bigger instruments. I will find out what is there. Oh, left side, right side, left artery, there is a problem, another expert. Right artery, there is an expert. Varicose veins, deep vein thrombosis. So deep vein thrombosis expert is different, varicose veins expert is different. If it happens in the testicles, it is different. Like this, we go on dividing, and everything is divided and no one knows what is happening. Ultimately, we are suffering. So we have to live, we are a holistic unit. You cannot go on dividing and think that you understand, and then afterwards you want to put everything together. It's not happening. So the basis of our existence is, when you're a small baby, you become big. So it is through food we are nurtured, and then we are becoming what we are. So if we do something wrong with the food, all these things are happening. So 1987 or so, I first came to America, and all these things became very clear to me when I first observed a small baby, 6 years old, menstruating. in Oregon, Beaverton, Oregon, here, Delaware. So when I came, India, women were menstruating at the age of 14 or 15. So when I come, what is going on here? A 6-year-old baby. I first, those days you have to go and get your medical certificate to join the, I came as a PDF, postdoctoral fellow. So they said, go and get your certificate. So you go to a hospital, which is of course fixed one. So you just go there and they will take your blood and they ask you to sit for 2 hours and give a certificate. You are fit. So when that 2-3 hours I was waiting and then met a baby. She was looking into space like this. Then I generally am talkative. I simply want to, as I told you when I came, I was looking for someone to talk. But in 1987 there was no problem. Her mother talked to me and I said, oh, your baby is... She said, she's bleeding and it's not stopping. I said, what? 6-year-old girl bleeding? What is happening here? I said. He said, no, nowadays our girls are 9 years, 10 years. By then, America, the girls were menstruating at the age of 9, 10 normally. I mean, this girl is a little early. That's what she said, and then just she went up. Then I got shocked. Then I went into the doctor's chamber and asked the doctor, so what's happening, sir? This girl is a... Oh, it's American. He also walked off. And so why do you care? That's. But then I couldn't sleep. So within 3 days I figured out that the mother's milk has not been there to these kids and they have been feeding this artificial milk. IVF, biotechnology, overproducing milk, oxytocin, estrogen, injections and the residues that are there in the milk. And already by then when I came, the milk was being supplied in plastic dabbas. So you keep plastic dabba, anything, water, oil, milk, within 6 to 8 hours it will absorb the nanoparticles. So it's not just the hormones, it is not just the antibiotics, it is not just the growth factors that are different from cow's milk to mother's milk. I mean, human milk is designed to have the right balance of growth factors, regulators and the nourishing nutrients for our human baby. And cow's milk is designed for cow's growth. And, but that calf grows in 6 months this big, but our babies grow only this much. So you put that milk into this baby's mouth, the whole thing is not designed for, but then all of a sudden we have books declaring milk complete food. In bracket if I say for whom? So we fail to define. But then all over the world, because of this production of huge amount of milk, in the scientific books, in the schools, the science teacher is teaching milk is complete food. Milk has got calcium, so everyone should drink milk. So till 1950s, in India, people were not drinking milk actually, because there was no milk in India. The cows were giving only 1 liter, half liter. And then we had the good sense of allowing the calf to drink the milk. And then whatever little is left, the cow used to actually karutundi and palu, just coming out by itself, whatever is left. Then they used to hold. That's not enough for anyone. They used to todu kvesi. They used to get curds. Then curd is also not enough because you have this much. So they used to put 10 times water and then churn it and make buttermilk and then they used to. And that was the story. But then all of a sudden the news, milk is good. So the rich people who had these cows and all, they started collecting, they started drinking. So in a matter of 10-15 years, even these cows were imported, IVF, everything gone there. So in India also, kids started drinking this milk. So what happened is hormonal imbalance. So the natural processes that should happen at the 14, 15 age shifted to. And now I have been in the last 20 years, I'm a so-called homeopathy practitioner. I used to practice. Almost every week I get calls. Recent one is 3-year-old baby menstruate. 3-year-old. And then the doctors inject steroidal hormones to stop the bleeding. For 3 weeks it stops, again. So now they don't know what is happening with the continuous bleeding. The high-5 big multi-specialty hospitals can only do that much. And then, as if it is not enough, everyone is drinking coffee, tea, liters, and then paneer. And what has happened? The whole female communities on this planet started getting moustache on their lips. No problem, beauty parlors. They are popping up. And now it's a big pastime. Everyone are booking the parlors, this treatment, that treatment, hi-fi now, laser treatment. What all they are doing is removing the hair from unwanted parts. It's just amazing. And no one is thinking that because of the hormonal imbalance this is happening. So we all stop drinking milk. If you just do this, in 6 months you can close down half the hospitals. Because the core problem of human body physiology is you disturb the hormones, everything goes haywire, slowly and steadily. And that can even enter to the extent of causing neural disturbance. And the sole problem of taking milk, the human race started consuming milk in large quantities. 80% of our problems started happening, and no one till today puts the finger and say, if human race stops taking milk, I guarantee in 7 to 8 months you can close down half the hospitals. Now, when we started the lectures, the hospitals are increasing. So I don't do anything, just stop drinking milk. Then all this question, oh, what about calcium? What about this? What about that? Calcium is not absorbed through the milk properly. That is enough evidence. Because if calcium was to be absorbed properly from the milk, why do we have so much problems of calcium metabolism? Osteoporosis, osteolysis, this, that, all kinds of problems. And 18 out of 100 women have serious problems by the time they are 40. It is just because they are drinking milk. Hey, why are you talking about only women? What is happening to the men? Equally troubling. The sperm count has been declining steadily, and now I believe in the next 10 years there will be no sperm in the human male. What do? No problem, we have technology. We will store the sperms now. You pay the premium. You see, why is it that sperm is evaporating from the testicles is not the question to be asked. Instead, we are saying we'll do something. Germany's average age is now 50. There are no kids born. Same thing is happening. Actually, in India, we saw overpopulation. Now, IVF hospitals are popping up in India, in small towns, where they are not able to bear kids. How there is no sperm here, there is no ovum coming out properly. PCOD. menstrual cycles disturbed. If the bleeding starts, no stopping. If it stops, I'm not talking about diseases, cancer, diabetes, all that. I'm least bothered actually. We are changing the nature of human beings. So the women are not women anymore, men are not men anymore. But we are painting ourselves and we are shaving, I believe in America women shave more than men. And many men are getting breasts. And we are not sensitive to these developments. What's happening? It is the food, no one is connected. And then the food, I just only talked about milk and water. Water we are drinking in all plastic bottles. So we are not just taking the food, in the name of food we are taking plastic nanoparticles. It is coating our, absorbing all that celiac and the epithelial layers of digestive canal and screwing up our absorption of various vitamins, minerals. In fact, that is the reason why men started losing their hair. Many are bald. Absolutely, 20 years, sir, and bald head, and these things, what are these doctors doing? Before, after, front page advertisements, they want God-given hair is not staying on the head. And these guys do something. And then Brunga-taila. And these guys are also pumping up oils in the plastic bottles. They want to also join the party. So unless you change the absorbing of the minerals in your stomach, and so these plastic nanoparticles and this kind of chemicals are doing this gimmick. So unless you change that, nothing will happen. See, these doctors, instead of telling, hey, your problem is there, you need selenium, you need copper, you need zinc to have good hair. But that's what is the problem. And the doctors are not, oh, I will do this, plastics, they looked around, Tirupati, that Venkateshwara will have a lot of hair. So bring that. Then this Western world started using all mugs, wigs, everything they are making, and then painting, and then the TV fellow started to, oh, this fellow is looking great, so let's also paint. Those guys have to do the business of showman thing, they are painting. But all the world has started painting, seeing those guys. And they're painting the mushkas also. And then halfway they abandon it, becomes different color, and then I find walking, I go for walking, even my small town like Mysore, you have different colors, pink, red, I'm on planet Earth or something else. So we are not happy with what ours is, but then we start painting, and the paint on the door and paint on your hair is the same. Put it in small bottles, the price is 500 rupees. That 50 per liter is 500 per liter. And that's what is happening, and we don't care. And you should see this advertisement, my God, it's just amazing. So you see where the problem is, and we are all trying to fix it somewhere. So where did we lose health? We lost in the kitchen. We don't know what we are eating, and why cooking? Cooking, your wife cooks. It's something very bad. We started looking down upon fellows who cook. In fact, that is the only thing, if possible, on this planet, the best thing that you can do is cook and eat. There are only two things that are really called works. One is growing food, and then cooking. The remaining things are all food. So we started not respecting women, not respecting the fauna, because everything is now commercialized. You just call a Zomato or someone brings something. I don't know what he brings, but we are all very happy because it is 40% less. Buy one, get one free. You see all this nonsense, but we are all doing it. We are all doing this. Even a rich fellow, I come here, one fellow is 6-figure salaries, then Codomillet, oh, it's too costly, you know. Then you order and eat pizza, $100 you just burn, no problem. iPhone, 50,000, we are standing in line. Then you eat this, and we have already said, if you eat millets, you are getting out of all these conditions. No, it's too costly. So I don't know where this thought process is going, comes from. So just this one question alone is good enough for us to prove that we are not thinking right. What is costly? Going to doctors every day is costly or not? So if you want to keep going to doctors, what does that mean? It means doctor is not doing anything for you. What is doctor then? A doctor is one, if you go once to him, you do not need his services anymore. It means doctor should eliminate his job in one's life. If a patient comes to me, if not in 3 months, if not in 6 months, after 1 year, that patient should not need any services of a doctor. He should be healthy. But then what is happening is now he is being fixed. Next month, all the appointments are. You see the nature of things, how they are changed, and everything is happening under your nose. So all this rambling is to establish that there is something seriously wrong with all of us. Now, I'm not blaming doctors. I'm not blaming this fellow or that fellow. The whole thing, we are all in it together. The reason is, in India, to get an MD or MS certificate, the student has to spend approximately 2 to 3 crores of rupees. So that means the education has become commercialized. I don't know why it should cost 3 crores for a fellow to get a doctor's degree, but it is so. So after having spent 2 to 3 crores, what would he do? He would come and do service for you? So you will start writing this test, that test, and each test costs 500, 1,000, 2,000, and then on top of it, all this technology, MRI machine costs 30 lakhs or I don't know, nowadays it's obnoxiously high numbers, with crore rupees or something. So when I invest 1 crore rupees, every day I should at least have 10 fellows go through the machine and get. I've got 1 crore rupees invested. And if I don't collect every day some 10,000 rupees into 10, 1 lakh, when do I? So now the technology is more important and the machine is more important. It is not the number of problems that a patient has. Whatever problems you have, we will go through this. Whether you have a problem or not, we will go through this. To say that you have no problem, you go through this. Now you see how it is shifting now. If I declare that you have no problem, we are all right. Otherwise, you do not know what problems you have. So monthly checkups, 6 months checkups. Oh, my company is ready. Yeah, everyone go through the checkup. Actually, they go in the morning and by evening they have got all 1,000 fellows have got the reports. I don't know how it happens actually. Because to do a test, it takes a lot of time. But all 1,000 fellows are ready with reports. That means the reports are already done. Only they are sticking your name. And then in the report they will have Oh, cholesterol high, this high. Oh, see, you have a problem here. We will do further testing. So come on, some 1,100 fellows are now tensed up more. Oh, you have some problem. Then they report again one more report like that, further different test. Another spike. Because these tests are done in zip. There are only 4 or 5 technicians, but they are managing. They become super technicians. But then we don't understand these things. Because the fellow wants to go through the numbers. So if I make 20 reports into this much. Because they has to have these things happen. And most of it is now become commercial rather than the real. So each patient comes up with this name, that name, this report, that report, and it's all confusing. Some are cooked up diseases, some are real diseases. But in this big confusion, we don't know who has the real disease, who has no unknown. So the problem is much more complicated. You see, actually we only have very small things, but because of all these activities, the whole thing is gone into different dimension. Why am I talking all this? We are all doing this. This is the reality. And then everyone asks, I have this problem, that problem. Actually, you have no problems. Many of you have no problems. If only you sit back and take deep breaths. I gave you that analogy. You are all stuck in the traffic jam. You don't know what to do. Just get down and walk. The same thing. Just sit back, relax, take deep breaths. Just watch the breath. There you enter a different dimension. And this has been done long back in our country. And that is what is called dhyana. Just get into yourself. Whatever may be the problem, start looking. Because the problems are here. Not under the machine or this or that. So who can know the problems more than you? You have everything. Just start looking by yourself, into yourself. How does the machine know what you are feeling? Machine doesn't know. Because it is looking everything in the physical domain. But we are not living just by this body, we have mind, we have emotions, we have this, that, all these things. So we cannot separate ourselves and then start this is this, this is this. So again come back, how have we become this big? Because we are what we ate. So that means every 6 months the body is trying to regenerate. Most of the cells are actually new. Every day you are dying, and though you are born to your mother once, but then every day that process of death, each cell goes through. Almost all of our body, most of it, recycling is happening. The new thing comes, old thing goes. The blood, once in 3 months, things happen. So like that, each organ, each cell, community has a different life cycles. So when such is the case, if you are feeling something wrong, then all these things keep going on wrong pathways. So again I come back to the fact that you need to worry about the right material food. So sit back and think that these are the wrong things that we are doing. So if you do not convince yourself that we have done something wrong, then you cannot have the opportunity to change. So you need to be thoroughly convinced that what we are eating is causing all the troubles. Not the names, not a microbe, not this, not that. See, microbes come afterwards. Once you are sick, they will come. So that means the capacity to sustain the onslaught of whether it is virus or bacteria is lost. That's why you are becoming sick. That means the sickness is caused even before the virus came. The virus came because it can happily play in your body. If your body is strong enough, to make sure that it cannot play, that means you are not sick. So that means you have lost that. So that's what, we are, dengue, kill the mosquito. H5N1, kill the chicken. Swine flu, kill the pigs. Knee fog, kill the bats. So go on killing all the animals. So who is getting the sickness? It's you. So kill yourself. That's the same logic, isn't it? So the basic problem is that we are becoming sick. In fact, the chicken which has H5N1, it doesn't fall sick. The mosquito, you're saying, that is the reason. The mosquito is happily flying and coming. It has no problem with the virus. That means what? It can sustain the onslaught of the virus, but you are not able to. So something wrong here, not with the mosquito. These things have been there. It is you who have become, your immunity is going down. So you better work on your immunity levels being high so that you can go and sit in a dengue infested places. That is what health is. So how can we make the bone marrow, where the blood and all these immunoglobulins, and that has to be clean. If that is not clean, these things are happening. So where is the shift? It is the food. It is the antigens that you are presenting to your body on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, that can make your body strong to fight it. If you provide models of all these different kinds of viruses, you have antibodies ready in your system so that anything can be taken care of. Instead of doing that, we are trying to kill by external antibodies. This vaccine for that, that vaccine for this vaccine for that. I believe now 48 vaccines are there. So even before the baby comes ready, 1, 2, 3, 4 vaccines. So the baby, why should I come out? It's not coming. You're not coming, we'll have cesarean. Now it so happens in India, the funny statement is, cesarean has become normal and normal has become abnormal. Pregnancy is looked at as a big problem. In fact, earlier days, people, 9 months old ladies also used to work. In fact, many a time actually, to tell you frankly, I was born in a toilet. My mother went, tapakai came out. And that is the right position to baby coming out. In fact, in our olden literature, it is written, you better squat if you are the baby will come out. But now what do we do? In the name of hi-fi hospitals, go to a big resort like slide down, and then the gravity is pushing, and you push. Big hangama. The most unscientific thing that I find is pregnant lady is lying down and now, it should be known, the husband should know the problem is, you come and you have a photo or take a video. All this nonsense. So the simple scientific thing is to make the lady squat and the baby comes out. And we are celebrating the science, big science, here, hi-fi technology. You have cameras now, all this, what happens. It is such a simple thing, but we are making a big issue of all this. It should just pass like that. And millions of kids were born like that in the human race. Millions of zillions, we don't know. So many generations. In the last 100 years, we have made a big mess out of that. I mean, it's so silly. So what all you have to do is, don't think pregnant ladies are, it's a big problem. It's a natural thing, it happens and don't even bother about it. Things should happen. And it will happen. It is as simple as that, but then we have complicated. We have complicated even lady becoming menstrual cycle. We have complicated everything. So it's not the diseases that I am talking about. And I know many of you have come, I have cancer, I have this, I have that, I have this. You have a lot of questions. But actually they are irrelevant. If only you change your food, the body will correct. And if the food is right, no medicine is necessary. And if the carbohydrate are interwoven, and if you want the carbohydrate, you have to work for it because the fiber is enrichedly attached to it. So the digestive system is now put to real work. You will get your glucose only if you digest meat with the fiber. So that means if you take fiber separately and carbohydrates separately, it's the wrong way. That's what we have been doing. I will eat vegetables, I will eat rice. I will eat this, but that's not going to work. And that's what is the result. So you want to eat the food. The food means it should release glucose slowly and steadily into your bloodstream. And that first characteristic is met by these grains, 5 grains. And then next what happens? After having the energy released, the electron tumbles down and then the energy is trapped by it. So these cytochrome systems, the pyruvic acid cycle, generates the energy pattern. And for the electron to move step by step, you need that electromotive force. And that is created by this. But then after electron moves, ultimately it has to find itself somewhere. Otherwise it can burn, it can act as superoxide radical, this radical, that radical. So you have to annihilate, and that is what fiber does. And there are lignans in our 5 grains, the fiber, soluble fiber, insoluble fiber. The insoluble fiber does the last job of cleaning up and making shit and making you do the things properly, and the soluble fiber in the bloodstream starts collecting all this metabolic waste, different kinds of things, and then gets into recycling from the kidney and lungs and makes you healthy on a daily basis. So the food is something that cleans up your body on a daily basis and then provides you the energy that is required for your living. So we have not been able to come to this wonderful definition of food, and we have been screwing up our health. So if you want to be healthy, you need to clean your body on a daily basis. It's not just the shit. There's so many aspects of metabolic waste in a micro and macro world, and that job is done very efficiently by these wonderful grains, because the nature of the grains is having this ratio of fiber and carbohydrate in its balanced condition. So it is the balance of the cleaning and the energy systems, beautifully arranged in 5 grains, and there may be another 10 or 15 grains on this planet. We need to figure that out. But then I was running out of my time, because after I went back to India searching for this food grains, and I had to grow them because they were all dying, because people were not eating this, and then the seeds will disappear. If you don't germinate them on a regular basis, after 7-8 years, the seeds won't germinate. And that's how all the world has lost all these grains. Actually, Kodo millet is Himalayan millet. That means China, all those people are eating from long time. And the brown top millet is actually American millet. Even now, Colorado, they are growing, but they are feeding birds. They are eating some nonsense. And if they are fools, we are idiots. We are following them. And brown top is the most beautiful grain. It has 12.5% of fiber, and the ratio is 5.5 fiber to carbohydrate ratio. And the other grains, the rice, paddy rice is 395. That it is 100 grams, you 79 grams of carbohydrate and 0.2 grams of fiber. And wheat, it is 1.2 grams of fiber and 70 or something. So the wheat ratio is 65. So if your fiber to carbohydrate ratio is single digit, it is going to give you healthy condition. And that's why these 5 grains, I named them Siridhan. It gives you One guy said, wealth is health. No, absolutely wrong statement. Wealth is wealth, health is health. If you have health, you have everything. If you have wealth, you have nothing actually. Because a lot of people are very wealthy, died suffering. Steve Jobs is the prime example. There are many more. So do not think if you have wealth, you have health. No. If you have health, well, then you have everything. If morning you cannot shit properly, you have nothing. You shit properly, your whole day is made. You are very happy, you don't get irritated, everything looks calm, cool, fine. If you have not shit properly, everything is irritated. Even if your daughter says something, this is what is the problem. So I talk very silly things, but you need to understand it, the most serious things. Your MND is not very serious actually, or your SLG is not very serious, because we have got wonderful results. There was a lady SLG, in big ambulance they brought her because they said the bleeding here and they're not able to move this, that. And we gave her a protocol, and within 6 weeks she started sitting. In 6 months now she's climbing Chamundi. Chamundi is a hill near Mysuru. There's 1,000 steps. Wonderful things. And MND, IBD, HIV, some 15 kinds of cancers, brain cancer, blood cancer, breast cancer, bone cancer, prostate cancer, other cancers only, the part is different. All of these cases have been helped very wonderfully. And diabetes. Everyone is diabetic now. I was talking to some crowd, 28% are diabetic. No, sir, you are wrong. Your strategies are wrong. It's now 40%. Hyderabad, is the capital of the world, the diabetic world. So what is the percentage? 60 diabetic. I don't know where these numbers are coming from. But people are becoming sick. That is the fact. I don't believe 60 people are diabetic and things. But they do come up with these numbers. I don't know how they generate these numbers. I'm not sure whether what they're talking is right. They do come up with numbers. They have some means and mechanisms. So 28% are diabetic, 32 people are there, thyroid patients, 16 like this. I don't know exact numbers, but we know we are all sick. So we need to just shift our food to the real food. But then you have all to be convinced that this is the wrong thing that we are doing. And if the existing diseases and the number of sick people doesn't convince you, then you have to become one to be convinced. And this is the problem we face. That we do not think all this is happening unless it happens to us. We will see tomorrow. In fact, the system is different. Even if you are sick, if I can take tablet and then manage, it's okay, we'll see tomorrow afterwards. Keep on postponing. And when you have to go to ICU, then you keep asking doctors, they are ready to make money out of your conditions. And this is the system we are in now. So please wake up from your slumber. Start correcting your lifestyle, because it is this kind of life that is degenerating you into this kind of sick conditions. And the names are different. As I told you, if you stop milk and sugar, almost 90% of your problems are solved. And then substitute, because of you have to eat something to live, isn't it? And God has made this. Now the problems are that we don't have enough of it. Because people who are not eating, the farmers have stopped growing and the seeds have actually disappeared all over the world. But luckily, I recognized this problem 30 years back, then went back and then started working, and then made these grains come back because you need in large quantities if you want. So that's what I did in the last, from 1997 to 2005. I put back all these grains and then made some farmers grow and then brought them back and then started giving to all these sick, various kinds of sick people. Hundreds and hundreds after getting better, I am convinced, and then confirming the things, and then I started going around to all villages and telling people. And then the word spread because the mainstream media and all are not willing to talk about this. And in fact, in the initial stage, it was just the opposite. All I heard, oh, you don't want us to drink milk, even desi milk, because they're all interested in coffee and tea. Without coffee and tea, nothing works there. Morning you need coffee, after breakfast coffee, another half an hour, 1 hour, and before lunch, one more coffee. No, like these people are drinking 4 to 5 times coffee. Of course, in America, you drink mugs of it. They are drinking cups of it. You go around, refill the coffee, drink, fill the coffee, drink. As if that is not enough, you may have these so-called creams, all artificial things, dump and then drink. And you keep on loading all this sugar and all this. This is what we are all thinking. So all these habits are all commercial. Interests are making you to this. You are addicted all to this sugar, addicted to caffeine, addicted to chocolates, addicted to all these things. So you all become sick, and no one is telling because of this food you are sick. We are not connecting. Because of eggs, you are concentrating all the chemicals. 100 grams of eggs is as if you have eaten 8 kilos of grain chemicals, bioconcentration. And 1 kilo meat has got enough steroids to disturb anyone. But we still don't recognize that. They're concentrated. So you have to think on a micro level and macro level to become healthy. And by doing all this, to prepare 1 kilo meat, we use 50,000 liters of water. So we have disturbed the cycles of water. Instead of the rain coming onto the soil, it is raining itself into the ocean. It's not, we don't lose even a single drop from the planet. We have the same amount of water. But the distribution of water, because of our food habits, the way we are growing food, has disturbed the cycles. So the water, instead of reaching the forests, of course no forest, we have removed the forest cover. It is now 8% left, 1950s to now. So it has translated into macro problems. The problem is here, but the problem is taken a big shape and dimensions in the form of global warming. And no one is connecting. Global warming is because of the way we are eating food, the way we are producing the food. And we are consuming all the natural resources to produce this so-called food. So unless we change the food practices, unless we change the way we produce food, we don't have solutions. And funnily, luckily, these grains do not require any water to grow. Just 200 liters of water is good enough to grow 1 kilo. Paddy rice, 9,000 liters. Sugar 1 kg, 28,000. Wheat 1 kg, 50,000. So now if you give me 9,000 liters of water, I can produce 30 kilos of this siridhanya. Each kilo of siridhanya can be consumed by 10 people, 10 meals. That means one paddy rice, 5 people can eat. I can produce food for 300 people. So 1 is to 60. So 60 people's food, if you are transforming yourself into siridhanya consumer, is consumed by 1 person. See how fast we are consuming the natural resources. And then if you are a meat eater, 1 kilo, it is like 1,350 people's food you are eating. 1,350 people's food you are eating in 1 kilo of meat. 1 kilo of meat, I think in America 3 people or 4 people eat. That means 1 to 500, the ratio. And this is the reason why we are in trouble. So we are consuming things that are meant for us. Because other animals exist on this planet, other living things exist on this planet, and that water belongs to them. Because we can do all this damming the rivers and then collecting, and we have built big engines to pump water and grow sugar, grow soybean and corn, and then make meat. All these things are unnatural, and we don't want to talk about it. If chicken comes on your plate, we are happy. If burger comes on your plate, we are happy. And how it is coming, what is the damages it is causing on this planet are least bothered. Even after causing damage to your own body, we are least bothered. So we have shifted from being natural to unnatural, and then we are not able to recognize that problems are happening due to these shifts. So I have been working, telling people this is the thing that is happening, and this is from my viewpoint. It's not just viewpoint, it is a reality. That's what I want people to recognize. That if we all change our food and food practices and food production practices, we can save ourselves and save the earth. And no other way we can do it. That's why I keep telling this all happened because we are following this Western thought process of consuming culture. I call this as consuming culture. And we, Indians, actually had the conserving culture. All our practices were conserving culture. So now I think it is time the whole world looks at this model of conserving culture and moves from consuming culture to conserving culture. And this consuming culture is based on economic models. Everything is focused on economy. So we need to understand that economy doesn't lead us anywhere. So you have to move again, the same consuming culture which is economic model, we need to move to this conserving model called ecological model. The same three letters, ECO. Actually today morning I got down to the airport, eco parking. I said, what is this eco parking? This is economy parking. I was always thinking about ecology. Ecology, how is ecologically parking? Then I was fooled. This economy parking. But they have written on green in eco parking. These guys are too fast, I was thinking, but actually it is economy parking. So the parking is also economic. Money bills, you can park somewhere. You don't have money, you park. So economic models are killing us, creating a lot of troubles. So if we move from ecological systems to be preserved, means we need to think ecologically. And we have been devastating all the ecological system because we are following economic model. Even ecological studies are done in economic models because they are not connecting. Food is the reason why it is devastating. No ecological scientists are talking about making meat, making milk, making sugar, making rice. These are the problems actually. So if you do not concentrate, just because I went to Telangana, they have got Harita Haram project. Government is spending a lot of money to make plants grow. But then I told them, one of the meetings, if you green the planet, the problem is not going to be solved. Because there were enough plants just 50 years ago. 40% of our earth was covered with wonderful forests. How did we kill the forest? Because the way we are making our food. So Harita Haramu doesn't solve, Harita Aharamu will solve. So you have to clean your tummy. So to eat, you have to think ecologically. What I consume, is it ecologically making sense or not? So each and every morsel and drop that goes into your mouth not only should give you health, but also should be ecologically sound. So all these characteristics fit to Siddha. It gives you health, it crazy. So I've been very aggressive saying that if human race has to survive in the future in all respects, good to the future, the only way human race is left with is not this hi-fi technological things. And once I said, making missiles and machines doesn't bring peace and joy to this planet, but growing trees and eating millets. We have no option. We have no option. And I thought all these complex conditions will be understood only after my death. But as I told you, because we are all becoming, too many people are sick and people are finding relief. The moment you start eating millets, these 5 grains are actually a group of millets. There are many more millets. Finger millet, proso millet, pearl millet. All these are also millets. But then these millets do not have this condition of the ratio being single digit. They are 25, 30, 35. So when you eat ragi or when you eat pearl millet, your sickness doesn't go away from your body. Because its capacity to hold the glucose for longer periods is less compared to this 5 grains. So that's why we named them as neutral grains. Then if you are not sick yet, if you are okay, then you can eat these grains also now and then. But then once you cross 40, 45, the metabolic waste starts accumulating. That's how old age problems start. So you want to be healthier, you consume only these 5 millets after age of 50 or 55. But below that, you can eat all these 10 millets. Nothing happens to you. But concentrate more on these 5 grains because they are really health giving, because we have managed to demonstrate you can come out of cancerous conditions, you can come out of gangrenous conditions, you can come out of diabetic conditions, you can come out of your neuro disintegrating problems. So we had some good luck with MND, we had good luck with muscular dystrophy. There was a boy who was not able to get up because his muscles have degenerated. When he lies down, he has to be lifted. One fine morning, her mother found after coming back to me and then started eating. I think after 6 to 8 months, the boy, the door was knocked by someone outside. The mother has to go and open. The mother was in the toilet. The boy, without his knowledge, he just went and opened one fine morning. This happened. He didn't know that he could do it. And now the boy is now walking. In fact, he is helping around the mother in the kitchen and doing all the things. So this, sometimes people call me a miracle man. I said, I don't know how to do miracles. I have no idea what miracle is. You eat this, you take kashayams, you will start feeling better. I care too much about your names of the diseases. Cancer, this, MND, multiple sclerosis, scleroderma, SLE, lupus. Oh, lupus has no cure. No cure. I said, for what disease do you have cure? Diabetes, it is lifelong. BP, lifelong. Thyroid, lifelong. Rheumatism, lifelong. Here you have a list of the diseases that doctors have no cure at all. They are only managing your diseases. So there is no cure for any disease with your medicines. That's why I first itself told, if your medicine works, you think it's not working. It's not working. So you go to hospitals, what do you get? You get tablets. You will not get help. If worse, they will take a knife and scissors and cut some part of it. My knees are paining. Oh, they are out of. We'll fix you small, medium, large. That's how they are talking. Get one. They said this. Fix one, we'll do fix the other foot. From Germany we are getting, France we are getting, America we are getting. It's become business. So, this is utter nonsense. And we should not talk about this. No one is talking actually. That is the problem. We all should talk about this.
Because it's trust.
That is the problem. So, all of you should start discussing these things clearly. Only then you will have your health in your hands. So, if you want health, you go to hospitals, you will not get it. 100% guaranteed. You want health, go to the real food, and the fellows who grow this food. So, where do you want to look for your health? It is in the kitchen and it is in the fields of the food. But we are all looking here. Well, you have lost health in the kitchen and you are looking in the hospital. So where do you want to go? Please go back to your kitchens. Start cooking. Don't order on Zomatos and online and all. Yeah, it's like a James Bond movie, this fellow is driving, that fellow is driving, and then you exchange the food. I think they exchange bombs or something. Now the thing is, you're exchanging. How stupid can we get? So please come out of these nonsensical practices. And so you find health looking inside, correcting the inside things. So we live, so with the food makes everything. Well, then what is happening is there are now so-called yoga masters, spiritual masters. Oh, this body is not this, you leave this, you have to live with the Chaitanya world, the Shakti world, all this. But where does that come from? It is the burning of glucose that releases energy and then gives you that ATP. So this dravyatita prapancham, dravya prapancham. So, in fact, it is very well declared for dharma, kama, moksha, artha, you need the body. If your body is not right, you have no moksha. So keep the body first, but then they have denigrated all these spiritual practices to health. You do yoga, you will get health. You will never get health if you do yoga. You become healthy person, do yoga, then you have so-called moksha. So don't denigrate yoga and spiritual practices. Something gives you health. No, health is body, material domain. So you have to find the answers in the material domain, and that is food. So if your food is right, you will become. So however much you sit dhyana, potama guruguda antundi em cheyali? Oh, rendu idli tinnanu, aakli avutundi, dhyana. Oh, ma bharya em chestundi. So when you eat food, your mind should be not going anywhere. And that can happen if you eat same idli. If I eat idli tini kuchondi dhyanam, you can dhyanam for 5 hours. Because your mind doesn't think of food for 5 to 6 hours. And that is food. If food material is something after eating, you don't think about it. The same thing doctor's definition. If you go to a doctor, you don't need doctor anymore. And that is doctor. That is the same way you do it. If you eat food today morning once, I don't need to eat food till tomorrow morning. And that is the food material. And that definition also can be met by these 5 things. So if you want to practice yoga, first thing you want to do is shift your food to this siddha. To practice yoga, by practicing yoga you don't get health. To practice yoga you need health. So you first become healthy, then go to do yoga. You can bend your leg like this, you call this yoga, that yoga, asana, patanjali, all these asanas won't help you. Because first gas is there. I can't bend because the moment when you're stuck here, you want to bend properly, eat same, eat artha, then you can bend anywhere you want because It's free. The blood is flowing very nicely because it is thin and healthy. You eat any other thing, the blood is becoming thick and you have all this problem. Oh, I have neuron. What is after all neuron for? It has to be connected with the blood flow and connections. If the blood is not thick, if the blood is thin, then things happen properly. You eat idli, you eat dosa, you eat puliyogre, all made of rice and nice fat, dalda and all that. How does the blood flow? And then you sit and meditate or you do this, or nothing will work. And that's what is happening. So I've been doing yoga forever, but still I have my gas problem. Where will you go? You are eating something which you produce. So please do change that and then go to yoga. You will be fine. Absolutely no problem. But what I'm trying to communicate is all yoga masters, please first change your food. Then you can do yoga. It's 2 sets. Even dhyana, you can concentrate and do for a lot more hours. And everyone should do dhyana because watching your breath gives you a lot of stability. So a lot of mental disorders can be put to a place, at least calm down, start observing. So fundamentally I keep telling in many of my lectures, Telugu మాట్లాడితే చాలా బాగుంటుంది, but anyway, we are all audience. So this fundamentally the concept is the bodily world has to go to the material domain to non-material domain and non-material domain to material domain. That is the beauty of glucose becoming energy and then the energy becoming glucose. So photosynthesis and respiration are the 2 things that are opening up the window from material domain to non-material domain, non-material domain to material. So it is burning of the glucose. And what is the process? It is through respiration. It is the deep breath that you take, burns the glucose in each and every cell and produces energy. And that's why that window is watching the breath. And this is the science, if you want enamored by the word scientific, this is science of dhyana. And it is this domain change from material to non-material happens through this process of breathing. That watching the breath should be the cause. While doing that, lot of things happen. Lot of things flow in. And only if you do that, you can experience that. And all other techniques, this technique, that technique, all that are on peripheral body. If you cannot sit and watch your breath with utmost concentration, nothing will happen. So do this dhyana. And to do dhyana properly, you need the right food. If rats are running around you, and you see the difference. Actually, just in 3 days, you will see the difference. 3 days, all that it takes. And in 3 weeks, you will start feeling the wellness. In 3 months, then you are ready to give a lecture on wellness. Because that much wellness flows into your body. This I can guarantee. I can guarantee this to you. So please do think about food and the way it is produced, the way we are producing the present model. We need to shift. And it is working because thousands and thousands of people of various kinds of disease conditions are calling me, texting me, WhatsApping me, whatever, pinging me, and so on. I'll ping you. I'll ping you. Tweeting, pinging, all that. See, they are complicated.
Yeah.
I don't know what pinging is. I just heard now. I'll ping you. Don't do anything to me. I don't know what. So, please, and now you say, I have IBS, I have thyroid, I have this, I have that. So for the last 20 years we have been doing this and we have actually brought out small booklets with various conditions. approximately 50 kinds of diseased conditions. In fact, there are no diseases like that, but we have been complicating ourselves. I have IBS, what do I do? I have thyroid, what do I do? I have this, what do I do? So we have actually put the same names: thyroid, PCOD, uterus problems, kidney problems, liver problems, blood problems, heart-related problems, MND, SLE, HIV, ESR, like this we have listed, and then what kind of foods you take, what kind of kashayams you take. Kashayam is a very simple and wonderful concept. You have diversified leaves around you. You don't need to run to India because I have made the list in India. You can just sit here and watch all the wonderful plants. I just watched in Texas, you have pine trees, you have live oak, everywhere it's growing, just left and right. You just walk as you get this. The quercus it is called, wonderful leaves. You just make decoction, you can get out of your addictions. And you are drinking coffee, you are drinking tea, you are drinking alcohol, you have morphine, you have codeine addictions. No problem. Before you indulge in your coffee, just drink a decoction of quercus, that live oak. In India, we have guava fruit leaves and then pongemia leaves. So if you just sit and sip the decoction of these leaves, and kashayam is very simple. Don't be confused. This Ayurveda doctors have made a big mess of it. Take 1 liter of it, boil it, make 100 ml. It will be very difficult to drink. It will be very bitter, it's very difficult to drink. I'm not talking about that kind of kashayams. Kashaya is very simple. Just take fistful of leaves, whatever leaf it is mentioned, put it in boiling water. You make the water boil 200 ml. Drop it, boil it for 3 minutes and switch off the stove. Close the lid for 2-3 minutes and then filter. And then don't drink hot. Let it cool, lukewarm, then you sip. And if you think you don't want warm, you just cool it and drink completely one gulp also, no problem. But don't drink hot. Hot coffee, piping hot, all that is nonsense. Don't drink hot kashayams. Let it cool. And then if you are not happy with the taste, and most of the kashayams are very tasty: pudina, mint leaves, basil leaves, parijata leaves, guava leaves, dillweed leaves, gongura leaves. All the leaves that we are mentioning is very common and everyone knows them. And in fact, in India, they are available on the road even now. So no rich, no poor, anyone can get their hands onto it. And some few herbs that are very special, they are available in the nurseries. You can bring them back and grow. And when you do this, you start loving growing these saplings, and then so a different culture is coming into your house and into your mind. So kashayas are wonderful that way. Now actually, after we have started talking about this in India, all the villages have started growing parijata tree, seabay tree, honge tree. Earlier they were ready to cut, but now because they know if I drink parijata kashaya, my cancer is going away. If I drink methi leaves kashaya, my diabetes is going away. If I drink cyzicium, that is a nereid kashaya, my diabetic gangrene can get cured. Like this, all these conditions are listed in the booklets that we have made, and we have made a PDF in English, in Kannada, in Telugu, in Tamil, everything is there. And the organizers have got the link. You just have to get their phone and get the link into your smartphone. You can just press, you will get all the books. So all these conditions, 15 or 17 different kinds of cancers, brain cancer, chest cancer, this cancer, what kashayams, how to do, all that is described clearly, and all the details, how to make kashayam. In fact, many of the PDF books have how to cook millets. The millets are now blessed with this fiber and carbohydrate, and it is arranged from the center. So you need to soak the grain. Hey, come on, I can make 2 minutes noodles. So in the early period in my videos, I was knowing this problem. I said, just soak for half an hour and then cook and eat. So by just soaking half an hour also people were getting results. But then actually you get into some troubles because the fiber it doesn't get cooked properly. So many people experience some heat, some stomach pain and all that. So if you soak in the night and cook in the morning, absolutely fine. And you can even feed your 9 months baby. And if you have 108-year-old elders in your house, they can also eat. So absolutely no problem for anyone, for any kind of diseased person, sick persons. You can feed all these 5 grains. And people who cannot eat, you can make porridge and then feed them. All the 5 grains can be used for it. You can make rava or you can make flour out of it. Soak it for even the flour. You said, oh, I have made flour. You don't need to soak. No, you need to soak because the microstructure is still the fiber and carbohydrate are connected there. So it has to be soaked. If not 9 hours, 10 hours, after making flour, you need to soak at least about an hour or two. And you can make pizza also without the cheese. No problem. The base is Odo or this. Don't eat cheese. Cheese is absolute mess. Don't even think of it. Okay. But you can eat wonderful pizza without cheese. Basil, oregano, all are wonderful spices. Nothing wrong with the sauce that you make. Beautifully it comes out. My daughter makes wonderful pizza. Very good. Without cheese. We use very noble nune, that is Niger seed oil, which actually corrects a lot of autistic kids. So that condition is also completely dealt with. So autistic kids, what you need to do is feed them this grains, basically koda millet, barnyard millet, little millet, each one day, and foxtail millet and brown top millet 2 or 3 days each. Then make the autistic kids or specially abled and all that kind of kids 2 spoons of Niger seeds oil for 1 week, 2 spoons of coconut oil for 1 week, and 2 spoons of groundnut oil 1 week. Within 9 weeks, you will see the difference. Kids who do not have eye contact start making eye contact. Once there is eye contact established, then the kids can learn something. And most of the kids are constipated. So once you start giving them this food, their practice of evacuating their bowels becomes regulated and they start behaving very well. Many autistic kids have problems of stubbornness, anger, throwing tantrums, hitting others. Some people even become very violent. They take knives and all that kinds of conditions have been very well dealt by just transforming your food to this siridhanya and kashayams. And these oils have to be ganuga pressed, means cold pressed. But cold pressed is not the real good ones. In India, we are able to produce oils with this bullock-driven mara, means wooden oils. Wonderful oils. The smell itself is very tempting. And out of all these oils, the verinol is wonderful. Coconut oil is wonderful. We have got Alzheimer's, we have got Parkinson's, all that you have listed, what to do, what not to do. Everything is given full details in the PDFs, in Tamil, in Kannada, in English, and we are trying to get these books printed in Gujarati, Marathi, Bengali. All that work is going on. I hope in the next coming few months, almost all Indian languages we are going to be able to publish, and the work is going on. And the PDF is free. Once you get to your phone, you can distribute to 20 people. Nowadays, if you don't send this message for 20 people, so what we want to say, please do send to 20 people. So you don't need to worry. You will not have this or that. Please send to 20 people. So the others have the information. You are not going to have bad luck or good luck. please do send to others so that whether you do something or not, at least send to the people the copies. They will read or not, it doesn't matter, but just do send. That's all that we need to do. And I keep telling, it's as simple as this. We are in a very complicated situation. But things are very simple even today. What all we have to do is eat this. And now farmers are ready to grow. Because till today no one was caring for what they were producing. And all the farmers, 60% of farmers were out of focus. Now the world starts eating these grains, then all those 60% of farmers who were defocused and marginalized and were driven to commit suicides are now finding hope. So however much money you can donate to them, it doesn't work. Yeah, if you pay some money for the produce that they are producing, they can live with dignity. And that's what is happening. Many farmers in northern Karnataka and Telangana, Andhra people are now getting into this act. And I am very happy, very happy to see this transformation happening. And all that is happening only for one reason. Because whoever is changing their food, they're experiencing wellness. They're being rewarded with being healthy. And that is what is called being healthy. They're all bubbling with energy, wanting to do something. When they get up in the morning, they're trying to visualize how to help, how to do this, and that is happening. So you don't get irritated. You're happy to help. If someone asks you a question, you answer it, whatever you know. If you don't know, you say you don't know. So everything becomes peaceful when you are healthy. And if you are restless, all these tantrums come out. And you become disciplined. Once discipline comes into your body, people around you see and they are not disturbed. So if you are disciplined, your kid is disciplined. Many people come and ask me, my kid is not disciplined. First question I ask is, are you? So if your kid is not disciplined, that means you are not disciplined. Very simple. So don't correct your kid. Correct yourself. And then things will fall in place. In fact, my kid is, I never disciplined her. I never said, don't do this, don't do that. I didn't answer, do this, do that. So I do it. When I tell her sleep by 10 o'clock, I should be sleeping by 10. When I tell her get up in the morning at 5 o'clock and go for a walk, I should be walking. When I tell her don't talk loud, I should not be talking loud. So kids are not the problems. We are the problem. And this is true with everyone. So if we correct ourselves, things gets corrected around you. So if you think there is a problem, that means first look for the problem within you. Correct that. And then things get corrected. So actually I find things are very simple, but we are complicating because we don't want to pin the problem where it belongs. As we are searching for health in hospitals, but we should be searching here. So it is not that the kid is indisciplined, it is we are indisciplined. So please look, all the answers are within you. If there is a problem, the answer is not outside. It is true for everything actually, for every problem. Though apparently it looks from the outside. And if you sit and analyze, that's why I said sit. Look at your breath. Answers will start coming. That has happened to me all along my life. Because I have faced a lot of difficulties. And then I said difficulties are not from outside. It is me. Because I wanted to change the whole world. That means it's me problem, because the world has no problem. It doesn't want to change. I said, I want to change the world. Then the problem is within you. So you deal with it. It's not the problem with the world. Problem is not with the world. Because I wanted to change the world. That means I am thinking there is a problem. So you do something about it. So the world will not change. You change first. Then bring the change. So then that's how I started doing things. So that's why I said I declared first. Has been a happy and pleasant journey. Despite all that I have gone through, I still declare most wonderful time I had in my life is after I went back to India. And then the last 20 years, it's all been blessing. It all has been blessing for me. And I hope everyone can be blessed. Everyone can be blessed with all that the nature can offer to you. Don't look for the solutions outside, they are inside. Of course, we are in this planet, that means we are connected. So you are no different from the planet, you are the planet. So become one with the nature. Don't think you are different and you have to subjugate, you have to do this, do that. Be part of the nature, all the things will fall in place. And many dimensions exist, don't worry too much about it. Don't complicate yourself. Do your part. Things will start flowing. So I keep telling people, please do sit in the morning and evening for 10 to 12 minutes minimum. If you can do more, it's good. But at least 10 to 12 minutes when the sun is rising, when the sun is setting, that wonderful orange color rays can initiate wonderful biochemical processes in your body. We have found this with experience, a lot of results. So, how many people are having the good luck of watching sunrise? Every day sun rises, but we are not interested in it. We are busy doing so many things. But that 4 or 5 minutes, please spare for yourself to watch the sunrise and watch the sunset, wherever you are.
It's pretty cold outside.
4 minutes you can bear it, no problem. And you have all the gadgets. Okay, of that. Actually, I just walked through, I'm just working like this. I saw all of you. So in fact, I'm not used to the cold. I come from a very hot place, but it was very pleasant. I have no problem. You can be in hot condition, you can be in cold condition if you are restful inside. Nothing actually matters. I can just walk into Himalayas, glaciers with the same dress. Nothing will happen. Absolutely no problem. Because you are in that meditative mode each and every minute. You are aware of yourself. Nothing happens to you. So I am talking to you, but I am aware of myself. So prajna purvakavagi, every minute can be lived, then the problems will not exist. But we live without our consciousness. We are busy doing this. We do not know why. You got to be careful. Watch every minute what you are doing. And that is the practice. That comes by sitting, sparing 10-15 minutes daily, and it itself will increase for yourself. So initially you just give that much time. And that is the wonderful time. When the sun is rising, when the sun is... And that's why Surya Namaskara and Arghya Sandhya, Vandana. Wonderful practices have been described in our culture. Don't lose all of that. And luckily there are some teachers left here and there. True teachers are still around. Please seek out, learn, be happy and healthy. So change your systems, because systems are wrong. So look out for system change. So you cannot have, so just like you cannot be in Excel spreadsheet and think that you can write a novel. You can only calculate in Excel. So change the system. You want to do something. So eating, Eating is a lovely thing, most wonderful thing. So don't, oh, I should not eat. Please do eat. Love to eat. Eat well. Eat right. You are the happiest. So all this spiritual, oh, you should not worry about eating. You go on fasting. Don't go on fasting. Fast once in a while. Every day fasting. No, don't do that. Once in 15 days or once in a month. And if you are hungry, don't worry about fasting. Eat. So do these things. They are simple. Actually, that is what I am actually excited about. No complications. Very simple. Everyone can do it. Everyone on this planet Earth can do it. There is no complications. And don't worry about too much restrictions. You just sit the way you can sit. Then slowly yourself will be drawn into the right postures and right things. Just think that you have to sit and meditate. Or in English it is called meditation. I don't believe in God, you may say. Don't believe in God. They to meditate, dhyana. Oh, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in God. Dhyana madi. Scolding God, no problem. But do sit and observe your breath. That's all that is required. You don't need to worry about God. God will find you. You don't bother about it. Everything will happen only if you give time. So just sit and deep watch your breath, nothing more than that. In fact, you can do it, oh, you have to sit like this only, like this only. All that is also not really important. But then you will find yourself, you will still slowly become a Sukhasana. You will sit comfortably and start watching your breath. That happens by itself. It will draw yourself into those conditions. But you have to make that the decision of doing it. That no one can help. You have to, that is where the discipline comes. So do it for some time with the discipline, and then you will become disciplined. Then you will not, are you disciplined? I don't even think that I am disciplined. It becomes part of your system. It will drive you. It will become internalized. So all these things are according, I have found it being very simple. And I think everyone can make it simple. There are no complications at all. And just to make the statement, I have not taken any tablet for the last 40 years. I'm credited to pour thousands of multi-minutes just by advising, take sesame seed every day for 20 days and then take deep breaths like this every 15 minutes or so. Thousands have called me and said they are better, but actually I don't know what headache is. I have absolutely no idea what headache is. My wife now and then jokes, you have no headache, you have no head. And that is a wonderful state because I am not aware of all these things, but I am just living. I am living as a unit. I have consciousness pervading me all the time. So if you are aware of yourself, then things will follow. So prajna purvakanga jeevinchadam modulu pedte, everything will happen. So be aware of each and every moment. Being aware and living in the moment is the ultimate thing, and there is nothing more beyond that. You don't worry about God and this, moksha and all that. That's all there is, nothing beyond this. Very simple. You don't think too much. Eat well, sleep well, and most important, shit well. Thank you very much.
The Best Runners team has also cooked some millets and they're available in the cafeteria for sampling. I'm not saying it's not like a full dinner, but I think you should.
Some people in that spot, some people in this spot, some people in that spot. And the nervous system, liver, most of the brain is made of fat.
73% of brain material is fat. So now you have dirt things sitting here and there. So if the coconut oil, Niger seed oil, till oil, they are also fats. So when you drink, when your body is empty, stomach is empty, so the oil is not processed in the regular digestive processes, doesn't happen. So each and every cell absorbs the oil itself. So the dirt sitting on the nervous system, which is fatty material, can be transferred to these oily substances. So that's why you need to do it on a regular basis for 5 to 6 months. But then if you do the same oil every day, it loses the recognition. Because, a small example, you have your apartment neighbor, first when they come, you notice them. In fact, you notice if she is a lady, what kind of dress she's wearing and all that. After a few weeks, you don't even know when she is coming in, when she is going. But every day she is coming in and going. So that means your body, your cells also get used to that kind of thing. So that's why in the food practices that I tell, even the 5 millets, we need to keep changing every 2 days. The same way kashayams, we keep changing. The same way you keep oils changing. Though very novel nune seems to be working very well for this kind of conditions. And for Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, coconut oil works. And for skin problems and all, your till oil works well. But then I call this dummy thing. So if you have very novel nune requirement, you cannot go on taking very novel nune. So you break it. If not 1 week, after 10 days. So you can follow 10-day cycle or 1 week cycle. But minimum of 1 week it should flow so that the cleaning process takes place. So we have found in 5 to 6 months, as I told you, in fact I have thousands of these cases, not 1, 2, 3, thousands. And in fact now, recently we logged in, out of 1,100 kids who didn't have the eye contact, and we used to get fits all the time. Now, out of 100, they have passed 10th class with first class marks. You understand what I'm saying? Not that passing first class is a great thing, but given as a parameter, out of 1,000 such kids, and almost 1,000 kids do not have the problems of managing themselves, disturbing others, and they are also learning, and to the extent that they take care of themselves. And the most important problem with these autistic kids is it is not the problem of the kids, it is the parents who are in trouble. Because once we pass away, what will they do? Right. Because they are not given the skills to live. But then once this food material started, within 6 months to 6 years, almost everyone is equipped with to live themselves. And that is the best thing that can happen. So it is the parents who start getting that peace of mind. Because with these autistic kids, the problem is not just kid, the whole family suffers. So a lot of families are helped by doing this. This is the answer. So the cleaning, actually it is the cleanliness of the system that gives the basis of health. And that aspect no doctor, no scientist is talking about. And to keep it clean, and if the dirt is in the form of fat soluble things, you need to have a fat soluble solvent to remove it. And you don't need a lot of it. And if you eat, so I am eating coconut oil, I make my puri in coconut oil. But then your system, your cells are not ready to absorb it as they are, because once it goes in, it's in a different metabolic pathway. The lipids are digested, this is that, so you don't get it. So that's why we keep saying the condition in which you need to. Early in the morning, when the body is empty, each and every cell is ready to absorb. It doesn't go through the digestive processes. That's why even kashayams, I keep telling you, if I have to take oil and kashayam, you take oil first and then after half an hour take the kashayam. and then sometime later you can eat your breakfast. But water doesn't disturb, so you can always have any amount of water. And again, water also you drink when you are thirsty, don't drink when you are not thirsty. There have been many people are told you have to drink 5 liters of water, 6 liters of water. Don't do that. If you walk regularly, the body regulates the intake of fluids.
So, could you make Niger seed oil and the Niger seeds available?
Can you ask for everyone else?
I'm getting it online from Karnataka and get it shipped from India to here. So it would be great help.
No. This is, we are all going through the teething problems because only after my insisting that we need to use all these oils and this fashion only, things are happening. And we are actually, I myself, with my own work, we have placed around 18 Ghanas I have started, and people are working at it. And we are in the very initial stages. In fact, there were no Niger seeds at all. Because people, no one wanted it, so people stopped growing it. So only after I started talking about it, the good benefits of it, now people have gone back and started growing. Now tons of it is coming out and further it will continue. Now actually all the 60% farmers have come to focus and now they're very well aware that all this, there is market and we are going to get all these materials in large quantities in a matter of 2 to 3 years. We have no other way. Unless there is demand, there will be no supply. So it's a catch-22 problem. So now we are in this first phase that there is now demand and the supply is less. So I know the frustrations you are not getting and things like that. But we have to work all together. I alone cannot supply the whole world. So actually I don't do any business. What I do is I actually make the system work and then I give it to the farmer and then it is their business. So that's what we are doing and it will happen.
So for autism, ఏ ఆకులు వాడితే మంచిది అంటారు డికాషన్స్ కి? నేను గత 3 months బట్టి డికాషన్స్ వాడుతున్నాను, మిల్లెట్స్ వాడుతున్నాను మా బాబుకి.
The root of gravulence and turmeric and then garika, and then bilva, even ravi aku. Actually I give 4 or 5 kashayams. Even if you get 2 or 3, it will work. So, and also you people here don't get frustrated. Oh, we don't get this, we don't get that. We will dry it up there and my mother will send. Don't do that. You need fresh leaves for decoctions and we are trying to work out whatever locally available greens will work for you. So we will figure that out in a matter of 10-15 days. We will make a list for America kashayams. And then PDF will come to you. PDF.
So everyone standing here, if you can move.
And actually, most of it is available for you. Beetle leaves are available, curry leaves are available, dillweed is available, coriander is available. So 50 to 60% of it are available. Very few like ponge, kanuga, that is pongemia, ficus religiosa, and even ajataricta. I mean, vapa is available here and there. I have seen. And we have found the alternative. We will find alternatives. Whatever is not there here, we will find what is present. Actually, as soon as I came, I was looking for that. You have pine trees. You can happily replace pine tree leaves, kashayam for a lot of things. So that list will be made. And I said, quercus is like just like your pongemia. All these addictions, quercus works wonders. Live oak is everywhere. It is there. So even if you bring million addicts, you have enough material to de-addict. And they are growing by themselves. You don't need to worry about it at all. So quercus works for all these addiction problems. And Tipatiga can grow anywhere, in America or in anywhere. So all these things are going to fall in place. It's just a matter of you people wanting it. You see, now you keep asking Niger oil, it will come. That's all. Demand and supply, and once you ask for it, people will grow and then sell. Rosemary is a herb, yeah, that can be thought of, yeah. So actually, as I told you, I was working in India. I never thought of people here. Now that it has come to my attention, I will find in few days we'll figure it. But actually, you guys should do it. I mean, you are all here. There are some naturopaths, naturalists. You should figure out the kashayams.
How do you make kids drink these kashayams?
Oh, you don't need to make them. They will drink. They are wonderful. Absolutely no problem. Even in fact, 1-year-old also want to drink again and again. Tati bellam is there. You make one paka and then put few spoons. Even
Honey.
you no problem. Everyone will drink and wonderful taste. In fact, lemongrass is so good that people keep asking for them. So kashayams are not the way you are thinking. A chedu, gatu, all that. No, wonderful.
Ground up millets, ground up.
Yeah, you can actually take ground up millet and we have found a method of making rice, the mixie method. You just get the mixie and you can yourself prepare rice in your house.
The ground ups are too dark, like when you compare with the Indian ground up. Like we are kind of wondering, like they just.
No, you just have to have green tinge. See, it depends on the soil where you grow and the water content. If you supply too much water, it becomes lighter. So the practices, you have to sprinkle once a week. But then what problem is people are used to irrigate water. Oh, let it give. So you give more water. It doesn't work that.
Can you please list out what are the millets here if they are available in this market?
I don't know the market here. The proso is a neutral millet. No, hull is removing the husk.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, there are a lot of people over here.
No,
waiting
actually
to
we are not
get their
having
questions
questions, we are
answered.
discussing.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. And then,
Yeah, on
so a lot of these questions are already
Yeah.
available on YouTube. But I know you all are here to get direct answers from Mr. Doctor. But let's give an opportunity for those who are waiting here in the line.
First, I want to say thank you for this wonderful evening we all had. We're very fortunate for that. My question is about the millet. How rich is it in protein? So it doesn't have what's the effect on kidney? Because few years back, I switched my diet completely to quinoa. It so happened it had a very adverse effect. I did end up having a small tiny stone, which never had in my life so far. So I just wanted to know how rich is this in protein and what's the effect on kidney?
Yeah, actually that is the advantage of 5 millets. It has just enough protein. That does there is a problem with people think you need a lot of protein. Oh, you eat soya bean, you eat this, you eat that. In fact, that is what is causing a lot of troubles. It may not be just quinoa, other things that you have eaten also causes. So high protein causes these troubles. And you don't need 25% of protein or 36% of protein. You need only 6 to 12% of protein. I mean, some people need 6, some people may need 12. And if you watch this 5 grains, the booklet has got all the nutrient list. The highest protein available is in foxtail millet, 11.5%. And kodo and all have 6, 7, 8%.
So can we combine that with a little bit of rice or no rice at all?
No rice at all.
No rice at all.
No rice. This is rice. These all are 5 grains of rice.
Okay.
So, of course, these are the questions that are really bothering people, and it is important that we answer these questions. If you eat rice, what happens scientifically? That rice you have eaten becomes glucose first, whether you like it or not. So once the glucose is dumped, then the eating of millets is waste. Am I right? Because it has the regulation of glucose, but you have dumped half of it as rice. The rice gets digested and releases glucose immediately.
So we should follow with a lot of water?
No, water doesn't help. Once the glucose is in the blood, it has to be converted to all the problems will remain.
Okay.
So don't eat rice is the first thing.
Okay.
Don't eat wheat is important. Don't drink milk. Don't take sugar. But you say I'm eating millets. But then at the end of the meal you will have sit back and enjoy one cup of juice, containing 40 grams of glucose, then nothing works. So it's a very important question. First of all, you should get out of this industrial food materials, period. Don't mix. Many people say, oh, eating millet, oh, it is very tough. I have not eaten so many years, so I need to transit slowly and steadily. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. What you can do, if you don't like sudden change, you can eat once rice in a day and eat twice millets. And then after 2-3 weeks, eliminate that. Don't mix.
Thank you.
And in the market, everyone is saying quinoa is the superfood. Quinoa versus millet.
It's just like industrial food culture talking about ecological models. So quinoa is a corporate, they want, actually quinoa is not a really food material according to me because it is a leaf, seeds of leaves, the Chinopodium quinoa.
It's a tulsi seeds.
Yeah, so it is a pseudo grain.
Tulsi seeds.
Is it?
Tulsi seeds,
Not tulsi or amaranthus like that. It is one of such greens. And you can never produce in large quantities. Unlike these 5 grains, as I told you, if America mines the vast lands that it has got, anywhere you can grow, 5 planets can be fed if they grow. Just India grows all the millets in its available land is good enough for 1 planet. I mean, that's the kind of thing that we are talking. Quinoa, you can never do anything, and as she explained, quinoa has certain things that can trouble you. But these grains have everything that can help you.
Yeah. Sir, focal dystonic tremor की
Tremors, yeah, basically the nervous system is at stake. So in the book clearly mentioned Narala Samastru, about nerves. There is a list of food material kashayams. And most of kashayams is turmeric. Turmeric is wonderful kashayam for nervous. And people, it's not just to help you from disorders. In fact, you can have your all babies before exams. Where exams are in month of March, you give your babies turmeric kashayam and betel leaf kashayam and sadapa, that root of gravulence. It is available here in America. Many nurseries I have seen. You feed them these 3 kashayams 6 weeks. They have good concentration during the exam period. Their learning capacity, absorbing capacity increases. So, of course, we have been worried about a lot of diseases though. In fact, I can go on for another session for each condition. What is the kind of food, and that's fine-tuning ourselves. But first you get out of your sicknesses. Then we see how to be more healthy and more healthy.
Sir, I'm so happy to see you here. Thank you very much to be here.
That pleasure is all mine, actually. Because all are seeing me, but I'm seeing so many of you.
Yeah, question ఏంటంటే యాక్చువల్గా తెలుగులో అడుగుతున్నాను సార్.
Probably. If it others also, but I will translate.
I can ask in English as well. 4 months back when I just came to know about you and seen your videos, I started using millets, and even for a couple of months I was using ganji.
Yes.
So actually I diagnosed as glaucoma in the left eye, and it's been there for a long time actually, since 2011.
Yeah.
And slowly it's affecting very badly. And after using Ganji 2 months, I mean all 5 millets, whatever, 4 millets initially available,
Yeah.
and brown millets was not, brown millets was not available.
Actually, on top is loads of it is there in Colorado.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But you are all feeding it to the birds.
Yeah, lately I mean we were able to manage everything from India, and we are using all of them. And for almost a month, I was not able to. I mean, actually, we are using the solid food. Actually, I mean, after 2 months, first 2 months, I was able to see some results. Like, I mean, there was a big change, and I was able to see. I mean, there was
Yeah.
big improvement.
Yes.
But later, once I start eating the solid food, even though it is millets,
Yeah.
again it goes back.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I didn't see any change there. I mean, last 3 weeks I started again, and slowly it is. So can you clarify me? Like,
I understand.
I'm not sure. Like, what I'm using the 3 kashayams, what have been told in the table.
Yeah.
And all the millets,
Yes.
again it's been mentioned.
Yeah.
And what else I need to?
Yeah. You see, glaucoma is a very deep-rooted problem. It is basically one of the characteristics of glaucoma is IOP, intraocular pressure. Just like you have blood pressure in your body, you have pressure in the eye, and that keeps rising. Then it keeps bending a lot of things because the eye is very sensitive. Parts are there, the optic nerve and then cornea. All that things start going haywire. That's how you lose your eyesight. So the problem is very deep rooted. It is not just the pressure because there are a lot of nerves involved and micro angina. It's called, see, the blood vessels are 3 kinds, the big ones, the medium ones and the micro. So the micro anginas, the blood has to be thinned out very well. And so Ganji helps to start with. And generally 9 weeks of taking Ganji form of food initiates the processes. And then you start eating solid food, make rice and things like that. But you have to be at it. Ganji, you have to have at least twice a week. Then that will keep the system rolling. And glaucoma and skin problems and genital, means PCOD and sperm count, all that things are very deep into the system. So you require more time. In the sense, 6 months to 2 years. You will get a lot of glaucoma patients are helped with these food systems. Not only glaucoma, people in fact the cataract and macular diseases, whose these doctors declare that there is no way you can get cured. And after 6 months, people have gone back and doctors were just surprised. What happened? How it happened? So all these cases are, thousands of them are there. So please be at it, and you are going to have very good results. So once in a week you do keep Ganji for 2 days.
What is Ganji?
Ganji is just a form of cooking, you soak the rice, soak
Like
the
a
rice,
More water.
1:10. 1 cup of rice, you add 10 cups of water. Soak it for overnight and cook in the same water for 10-15 minutes and close the lid and keep it for 5 to 6 hours. Don't consume immediately. And what it does is it makes probiotic condition. The fermentation starts happening of the fiber, and that is much more healing than just making Ganji. And just Ganji itself is better than eating rice, cooked rice, millet rice. So rice is good, Ganji is very good, and the probiotic we call ambali in Telugu. So Ganji, ambali. Ganji fermented becomes ambali. So Ganji is also very good and ambali is very, very good. So the probiotic condition, because it improves your immunity. Because there are bacteria, different kinds of bacteria which are symbiotically living with us. So that's what happens. So this is the way you eat. If your problems are very complicated and you are suffering too much, then please stick to ambali for 3 to 5 weeks. Your system gets a boost. Then you can slowly come to rice.
Sir, like on top of it, like
excuse me,
use any homeopathic medicine?
I want to quickly moderate that we have very limited time.
Yeah,
So just one
So let's
question.
start our discussions.
Yeah.
You ask your question and
We are actually almost out of time, so we may have a couple of questions.
Yeah, sir, like I mean, is there anything I need to use homeopathic medicine on top of it to cure glaucoma?
and that you need to consult a homeo doctor.
Okay.
I cannot, I don't know the medicines because homeopathy is a different system. You need to sit and talk to the doctor for half an hour, 45 minutes.
Okay.
So a list of medicines will come and he has to choose from.
Yeah, pressing for the time.
Namaskar, Vali. It's about a boy, like 5 years old, in the family. He diagnosed with diabetes 6 months back. Like, not in the family, like that. It's a rare.
Yeah. Many people think hereditary. Diabetes is not the same
question today.
Yeah,
Like one,
it's not hereditary.
I think 2
It's
months.
the food that you are eating making it's diabetes.
Yeah, 2 months he was on the insulin for 4 times a day. And we saw your videos and we still could read my questions, only few questions.
Yeah, and a lot of this gets, this is type 1 diabetes, this is juvenile diabetes, this cannot be cured. All that things are actually, according to me, disease is this, that he has high glucose in his blood. And you follow these simple principles, whether it is a boy or an elderly man, it will work. Because the glucose is released slowly and steadily. And because pancreas is gone out of whack early in the boy, so you need to clean that up. So if it is elderly, you don't need to do that. For the so-called type 1 or juvenile diabetes, you have to feed the baby early in the morning few oils, because pancreas is also actually made of a lot of fat.
Yeah, yes, and we
Yeah.
are giving the
So
oils
very
as
nune
is
or kobar nune or verusanika nune, it will clean the body. And once you are out of insulin,
but
no problems.
he's doing good, but some of the readings are coming like
And that's okay. The readings flutter here and there, but overall HbA1c once in 3 to 4 months, it will start coming down. And generally it takes, for regular diabetic patients, in 6 months they can get rid of it. For juvenile kids and all, because they are kids after all, I mean, they cannot be disciplined.
it's very hard.
And elders themselves are not disciplined. So kids can, all around us we have all obnoxious things. So the kid will indulge sometime in chocolate or something. So don't worry too much. But we have the way. So over a period of time, as the boys grow older, and then he will have his own control and things like that. So we need to be with care and love. Keep telling them don't eat this. Instead of telling them don't eat that, you make wonderful things with millets and then, so that they avoid that.
Correct, and he's strictly following the diet. Just if you could read my questions.
Yeah, how to get good fasting reading, best fruits, vegetables to eat, how long it will take complete cure. The last question I also don't know.
Like, I'm just asking.
Takes
like
time.
guessing.
Guessing, no need
He's
to.
okay, but
Generally 2 years, 99% of the problems are solved.
okay.
So 2 to 3 years maybe. If there are some small other problems, everything will get set. But 2 years guarantee you need for any problem according to me. To declare yourself out of, say, I am not having this. I have a lot of HIV patients who are going to doctor for every 6 days, 7 days. Now I have hundreds of them calling me and saying, I have not seen the doctor for the last 8 months. But then many fellows fall back to bad habits again. And again they will go to doctors. And then they call me again. Then I tell them, please do this. And then they're like that. Sometimes it takes 2 to 3 rounds. If they were to be strict, they would have been out of it in 8 months. Now that they fall back, it may take another 8 months.
So, then pancreas malli normal functioning kostadi.
Sure, it will happen. Nothing to worry.
I'm sorry to this.
Fruits, you can eat fruits, no problem. Vegetables. Only fruits.
So we are going to lose the audio in next few minutes. One important thing I want to say, that send all your questions to info@westerners.org instead of www.info@westerners.org. We'll try to get Sir back again very soon. And I also want to call a shout out to Raj Garu, who has been with Sir for a long time, and he will be a very valuable source for information for us. So we have a lot of questions who we can reach out.
In fact, me coming to America is just because of him. Otherwise, this thing will happen.
And I know most of my team is
And
busy.
his wife, Swarna, she cooks beautiful food. And everything that you can do with millets, though I know I should not do this, just ping her.
It's not easy to get things done, but we'll try. So I just heard that there is still a lot of food left in the cafeteria. So please try the millets out. And I also actually wanted to call my entire team here because they have done a wonderful job in the last few days.
Please come on to the stage. Please come on to the stage. And if you have any questions, please send it to westerners.org, so they're going to answer it. And Raj and Raj wife, they have recipes they can share as well. So don't worry like this. They're going to be there and send and answer all the questions.
Yeah. So all the Westerners volunteers, if you are here in the room, come on the
Questions
stage.
that you all have, believe me, are all answered in the book. So if you don't feel bad that your question is not answered, you just have to get hold of the PDF, go through it. Everything.
I would like to ask one question about kids and milk. So, we discuss so many things about the milk, right? So, how important is it to keep our milk from kids? So, what is the substitution?
Not from kids, everybody, from everyone.
So, what's the substitution, especially for kids? What's the substitution?
There are a lot of different milks. In America, it's very free for you. You go to pine trees, to collect the pine nuts, make milk, wonderful for you. The best milk you want to have for your kid, pine nut milk in America.
Can it be substituted with the
Please ask all your questions. We already have all the answers. So,
Send it on the email.
we answer all your questions.
What is the best way to get the appointment in India? Very good question.
That also will give you information.
Your only way is every 2 months we give appointments. The last Sunday of even months. So April 28th, June last Sunday, August last Sunday. So everyone and anyone should and must call on that particular day between 8 and 10 a.m.
So we are keeping
That's all we can do.
I've been taking for the millets from like 4 months almost, and I'm using also the protein powders.
You don't need protein powders.
I do have good cancer, so I just want to.
Please do avoid protein powders.
And actually, I'm having allergies, so what should I?
Eat millets, drink kashayas.
Yeah, I'm actually drinking kashayam like sadapa and the
What else do you
jeera
want?
one every day.
What do you want?
So that's what other I have to do actually, apart from that 5 minutes.
That's all.
To get rid of this allergy.
What is it?
Allergies.
Allergies. You stop drinking coffee, tea, milk and sugar. Remove it. 90% of your allergies will disappear.
I am not actually a coffee lover.
That's it. You just keep doing it. 6 months to 1 year, you will have no problem.
What the antacids?
Yeah, all those.
The same thing.
So, what is the best way?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming again. Oh.
Yeah, the book is
Before we let the team go, one big round of applause for the team. If you have any questions, please visit the
I don't know
so this and Facebook also, where we are giving you all the links over there.
These guys have put the Banyan best runners.
Best millet runners.
No, I don't know whether they run or not, but they are. But they are doing wonderful job. That much I can tell. But I hope they can run very well if they eat millets.
Please join our picture.
My questions on our heart pumping rate. So, Daniki.
Yeah, there is book lo clear ga undi.
35%.
Yeah, in fact 15% people have been helped to normal deficiency.
So just to recap, some very important although we are website, we will be sharing all the details, and if you have already registered,